Does all this turn you on?
Sometimes.
Liar. You're telling me it turned you on because you think that's what I want to hear. You think I'm turned on by it turning you on.
The thought of me creaming myself when I stood for strangers doesn't turn you on.
Put like that, yes. Are you flirting with me?
Maybe.
This video was made possible by my patrons, Joshua Bartlett, Scorch88, Drew Cavallo, Thomas Frost, Jacob Pelletier, James Schubach, Gomicide, Victor Cage, Douglas Smith, Capitalism is Good, Pipsqueak, Michael, Lady Cthulhu, and Snizzy Poo. Thank you so much to all of you. Hello everyone, this is My Two Cents, and today we're again going to be talking about the cancer that is modern feminism. I'll be looking at a video clip of actress Natalie Portman giving a speech at last month's Women's March. But first, I'd like to say thank you to my sponsor, DivePro Inc. DivePro Inc. is an eBay store selling fully functional knives, mostly vintage and collectible, including brands such as Wingen, Edgebrand, as well as other classic German knives. Anyone who mentions that they found DivePro Inc. via My Two Cents will receive a 10% discount at checkout. DivePro Inc. also maintains a smaller page selling self-defense batons, which will be sold for $50, $25 off the regular price if you mention you were referred by My Two Cents. So go ahead and check out DivePro Inc., link in the description. Now, as I was saying, Natalie Portman gave a speech at last month's Women's March, a clip of which was posted on YouTube by CNN. I'd like to point out that Natalie Portman was one of my first crushes. I was in middle school back when Star Wars Episode 2 came out, and I remember that I thought she was smoking hot in her role as Padme. Looking back on it, she was, but I also realize now that the whole love affair between Anakin and Padme was really ruined by the fact that Hayden Christensen can't act. But that's beside the point. I also find it funny how celebrities are generally the only exception to the rule that feminists are ugly as sin. Paul Joseph Watson recently made a video about this trend, and I completely agree. But as always, I'm starting to digress. Anyways, Portman delivered a speech in which she communicated that women deserve pleasure, and that the current system in our country allows men to do whatever they want, but inhibits women from achieving their wants and needs, or in her words, their pleasure. Bottom line, Portman is yet another entitled crybaby who thinks that women should be able to do whatever they want all the time and receive only the positive consequences. This just isn't how reality works. Last I checked, women already have the right to do whatever they want. They can dress as sluttily and act as whorishly as they'd like. They just can't control how other people react to their decisions, which is exactly what they want to do. You can cry all you want, but this isn't how reality works. Let's get into it.
1 year ago on this stage, I was very pregnant and we talked about the beginning of a revolution. Today, my new daughter is walking, and because of you, the revolution is rolling. You told the world that time's up on violence. You told the world that time's up on silence. You told the world that it's time for a new day, time for a new locker room culture, time to think about every person's desires, needs, wants, and pleasure.
Okay, right off the bat, that comment about locker room culture was clearly a jab at President Trump's comments that he made about grabbing women by the in a private conversation that ended up being recorded and released during the 2016 presidential campaign. This shows just how totalitarian feminists are. They want to be able to control what sorts of conversations men are having in private. Now, whether or not President Trump's comments were appropriate, for goodness sakes, who can honestly say they've never said something in private that some group of people would probably be upset about if the statement were ever made public? Vulgar words are not sexual assault, and there is no such thing as a right not to be offended. Women think they should be able to change men's culture, but men better not dare question the kinds of things women talk about in private.
So let's talk a little bit more about pleasure.
Ooh, pleasure. Something a hottie like you knows all about, right?
I keep hearing a particular gripe about this cultural shift, and maybe you have too. Some people have been calling this movement puritanical, or a return to Victorian values where men can't behave or speak sexually around dainty, delicate, fragile women.
Well, yeah. If you didn't notice, the Me Too movement has gotten to the point where women think that saying, "Hey, where are you going?" is an example of sexual assault. Further, did you notice that feminists want to prevent hot women from using their looks to get ahead in life? Just look at what happened to the grid girls. And further, the Muslim hijab is being glorified by feminists as a sign of female empowerment. So yeah, I think it's absolutely appropriate to say that feminism is turning into the puritanical oppression that they supposedly so despise.
To these people, I want to say the current system is puritanical. Maybe men can say and do whatever they want, but women cannot.
Oh, give me a break. Men can be accused of sexual assault for saying hello, yet the millionaire actress speaking out at a public rally says that women can't say whatever they want?
The current system inhibits women from expressing our desires, wants, and needs, from seeking our pleasure.
And what exactly do you mean by our pleasure? Last I checked, no one is stopping women from sleeping with as many men as they want. Further, if a woman doesn't want to sleep with a man, all she has to say is no. Maybe what you mean is that women doing whatever they want doesn't always work out the way they thought it would. Like this anonymous woman who performed sexual acts with Aziz Ansari and then complained afterwards that she didn't really want to and that he ignored her non-verbal cues. Look, women have the right to do whatever they want. I don't know of one law that prevents a woman from engaging in or abstaining from consensual sexual encounters. If a woman doesn't realize until after the fact that what she did or didn't do has now made her unhappy, that's not men's or anyone else's fault.
Let me tell you about my own experience. I turned 12 on the set of my first film, The Professional, in which I played a young girl who befriends a hitman and hopes to avenge the murder of her family. The character is simultaneously discovering and developing her womanhood, her voice, and her desire. At that moment in my life, I too was discovering my own womanhood, my own desire, and my own voice. I was so excited at 13 when the film was released and my work and my art would have a human response. I excitedly opened my first fan mail to read a rape fantasy that a man had written me. A countdown was started on my local radio show to my 18th birthday, euphemistically the date that I would be legal to sleep with.
Alright, sending a 13-year-old girl a rape fantasy is pretty screwed up. However, let's not pretend that this is on par with actually sexually assaulting someone. When any person puts themselves in the public eye, part of the risk is that you'll catch the attention of both adoring fans and mentally disturbed stalkers. If and when those stalkers actually commit hostilities against you, they deserve to be punished. But the reality is, if you're a beautiful woman and you decide to be a public figure, men are going to fawn over you. And some of them are probably going to say things that you will find objectionable. This is part of the risk that you accept by choosing to be a public figure. And nothing forces you to engage with these people. You can choose to ignore them, which I believe is the best option for a woman receiving unwanted comments or advances.
Movie reviewers talked about my budding breasts in reviews. I understood very quickly, even as a 13-year-old, that if I were to express myself sexually, I would feel unsafe, and that men would feel entitled to discuss and objectify my body to my great discomfort. So I quickly adjusted my behavior. I rejected any role that even had a kissing scene and talked about that choice deliberately in interviews. I emphasized how bookish I was and how serious I was, and I cultivated an elegant way of dressing. I built a reputation for basically being prudish, conservative, nerdy, serious, in an attempt to feel that my body was safe and that my voice would be listened to. At 13 years old, the message from our culture was clear to me. I felt the need to cover my body and to inhibit my expression and my work in order to send my own message to the world that I'm someone worthy of safety and respect.
And all those things you chose to do were your own free choices. You could have chosen not to cover up, or whatever it was that you actually wanted to do. And with all the money you make, I'm pretty sure you could have hired competent security personnel to ensure your safety if you ever legitimately felt unsafe. But you want to know what else I can guarantee? Despite those choices you made, there were still thousands of men masturbating to your photos anyways. Do you think you or the government or whoever should have the authority to observe men 24/7 and scan their brainwaves and make sure they never entertain a sexual thought about you at all? Heck, you probably do. But besides the fact that it's not possible, it's ridiculous. I think supermodel Kate Upton said it best when she was asked how she felt about a YouTube video that featured 10 straight hours of her huge boobs bouncing up and down, in slow motion, mind you. She said, "It's a little embarrassing, but you have to learn to get over it." And she said she doesn't let the internet control her emotions. Now that is how a strong woman who's actually confident in who she is responds. Women like Natalie seem to think they should be able to look hot and yet prevent men from responding the way men instinctively respond to hot women.
The response to my expression, from small comments about my body to more threatening, deliberate statements, served to control my behavior through an environment of sexual terrorism.
Once again, the things men said and did didn't force you to do anything. You chose to respond the way you did. Does a strong woman blame men for her actions, or does she take responsibility for them? For the record, I'm not saying it was wrong for you to behave in an upright conservative manner either. Just pointing out that no one forced you to do it.
A world in which I could wear whatever I want, say whatever I want, and express my desire however I want without fearing for my physical safety or reputation, that would be the world in which female desire and sexuality could have its greatest expression and fulfillment.
And we get to the crux of the issue. Natalie thinks that women should be able to do whatever they want while reaping only the positive consequences they want. She would never word it this way, but essentially she's saying, women should be able to wear the skimpiest little bikinis with their boobs hanging out and only have handsome, rich men look at them, while all other men avert their eyes and respect their privacy. Or perhaps, women should have the right to sleep with men whenever they want and always feel happy and fulfilled the morning after. It doesn't work like that. You have the freedom to control your own actions. You cannot control other people's actions, much less their thoughts.
That world we want to build is the opposite of puritanical. So I'd like to propose one way to continue moving this revolution forward. Let's declare loud and clear, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I desire. This is how you can help me achieve pleasure. To people of all genders here with us today, let's find a space where we mutually, consensually look out for each other's pleasure and allow the vast, limitless range of desire to be expressed. Let's make a revolution of desire.
A revolution of desire, huh? Well, I'm not gonna rehash myself. You can desire whatever you want and pursue it however you please with your own actions. You cannot control what other people desire to put it into accordance with your own desires. That's totalitarianism, or the puritanical oppression that you supposedly despise. I've said it time and time again. Personal responsibility is the only thing that's ever going to fix society. I support the rights of women like Natalie to make their own decisions about their sexuality and sexual behavior. However, when those decisions crash and burn, everyone out there, especially young women who haven't made the same mistakes yet, had better learn. Those who fail to learn their history are doomed to repeat it. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. You can also hit the bell to ensure you're notified every time I upload a new video. This video was made possible by my patrons. If anyone else would like to donate and help ensure that I have the time and resources to keep putting out content, for just $1 a month on Patreon or Maker Support, you'll receive your name listed in the end credits and the link to one of your social media platforms listed in the description. You can also support the channel by purchasing my 2 cents merchandise or checking out my Amazon affiliate links. To follow me on Twitter, minds.com, BitChute, WordPress, Gab, or iTunes, check out the links in the description. Uploads are every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so stay tuned for more videos.